Hello darlings, how the devil are we? It's me Dom and I've got some more news for you. So the next big 2K release is coming around the corner in the form of Tiny Tinas Wonderland, and as a result of that we're getting a sneaky peeky look at some of the classes that they're pushing on out, and they have recently just told us about two more. The first one being the Spellshot and the second one being the Clawbringer. One of the things that I really like about Tiny Tinas Wonderland is the fact that they're putting an emphasis on giving each of the classes their really own unique identity, with a whole plethora of different abilities and spells that each of these classes can use, and also being spells and abilities that we've not really seen in the series before. So the first of the classes is the Spellshot. Now it does feel like, I don't know, recently I've seen a bit of a push towards kind of like gunmancers. If you've seen my video on Wizard with a Gun, then you'll see a similar sort of design, and hey, I'm here for it. I really like these kind of like alt tech wizards. Anyway, so the Spellshot is a gun-totting wizard. You get to use a whole barrage of spells, you also get guns, and you're also able to transform your enemies into various types of livestock. And in typical Borderlands fashion, the lore behind the Spellshots is super fun, saying whether they're slinging spells or shooting shells, Spellshots know that in Wonderland an adventurer survives by forces of arms and arcana. While others may view their guns as mere weapon, the Spellshot trained rigorously until it becomes an extension of their own magical will, weaving guns and grimoire together to enhance their spells and imbue their weapons. Also, they turn their enemies into fuzzy little animals, which is just hilarious. Now, as for how the class actually works, so it's got an ability called Spell Weaving, and this basically increases your spell damage and fire rate as you cast your spells or reload. So it's not just like it's a sideline thing, it's really kind of intertwined into you actually using your main weapon. So you could be firing away with your gun, your reload, it amps up your spell, you'll cast a spell, it makes it more powerful, you go back to firing, you're switching around, and that kind of constant cyclic loop allows you to build up really big damage numbers. They've also got some CC abilities as well, so if things get too tough, you can use this polymorph ability to transform things into skeeps. Now I don't know if it's traditional polymorph where if you damage them then it will change it back to their normal form, or you're able to do damage to them. I expect there's lots of talents around this, but nonetheless it's a really cool handy ability. The other really nifty thing with the Spellshot as well is that you can dual wield your spells. I've seen 3 types so far, so I've seen the fire abilities, I've also seen ice abilities, and there was an ice ability or like a bio ability that was cast out, and it did like puddles in the ground and hit multiple enemies. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw other elemental abilities mixed in there as well. Now for the most part, the fire damage was done just by snapping her fingers, but some of the abilities look like they have a little bit of a wind up to them. But I think that's down to the different abilities having different animations and stuff like that, rather than it being a wind up from Spellweaver. Either way, I'm super excited to play this. Usually I just play melee classes, but this high octane, big damage DPS mage class looks like it's going to be loads of fun. Now, the other class, which was the Clawbringer, which was announced, is a little bit more into my traditional ballpark because it is a good old-fashioned warrior class. They are elementally imbued, they have both thunder and flame at their disposal, and they also have a huge-ass spectral hammer that they can use, alongside their fire-breathing wyvern companions. Again, the lore is really fun with all the characters. The Clawbringer is no exception to this. The story behind them is that they're an order of warriors who seek to bring heroism to the Wonderlands through fire and thunder. While it has been long rumoured that Clawbringers are born with dragon blood in their veins, our legal scholars can neither confirm nor deny such blatant heresy. So in terms of what they can actually do, so yeah, the Clawbringers, they're all focused around fire and lightning. And they're a bit like a melee support class because they've got this aura called the Dragon Aura, and it basically allows your party to do fire damage and I presume lightning damage as well at some point. The hammer's got some really cool abilities as well, so you've got 2 options with it. You can slam it into the ground and do a massive AoE fire burst, or alternatively you can throw it like Thor's hammer essentially. It will land, it will create like an AoE bubble around it, and then it comes back to you. So a lot of utility there. I'm actually really intrigued to see what the talent tree is going to look like this, because it feels like this class could do a ton of AoE damage and also be a really cool support class, so one that you'd want to bring along with your group. Nothing has been confirmed how it actually works in conjunction with your weapons, and I think that's an overall theme with Wonderlands, is that most of the abilities have kind of like a toing and throwing and a balancing out, so it doesn't feel like you're just firing or using magic. But we're going to have to wait until that gets fully released to find out how that works. This is also a pet class as well in some ways, because you've got a wyvern companion that helps you and breathes fire on the enemies, etc. And I'm guessing that'll tie into some really cool looking ultimate down the line or something. But either way, this class looks like it's going to be really fun. It's probably not going to be the one that I pick up immediately, but nonetheless, I definitely know some friends who will be loving to play this. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do on Wonderlands for now. There's tons of content coming out on it, so be sure that I will be updating you as soon as I know more. Let me know what your favourite class is so far. What are you going to play? Are you excited for the new series? But until then, have a great week, have a wonderful day, and I'll be back with more news soon.